Did you get to tell Ivy how fantastic she was?
No, I think we would have been too nervous in those days to talk to her.
He
But we
lives in
watched her from a distance and basked in the glow of her goddessness.
just a cut to the chase. September 26th, 1981. Days of Future Past. You played with Bauhaus and the Cramps.
Yeah, we did indeed.
What do you did you interact with the band at all, with the Cramps at all? Did you get to hang out with them?
No, not hang out with them, but Daniel and I watched them from the side of the stage, and it was an extraordinary performance. It was very exciting, electrifying, I would say. And we were particularly enamored of Ivy. She certainly had a stage presence, to say the least. And we loved the way that she would teeter across the stage in her high heels and very sort of delicately, but with a kind of self-assurance tap on her fuzz box. And then this monstrous sound would issue forth. And then Lux next to her was also on fire during the performance. He did vomit at one point whilst on his knees. He did try to inhale the microphone, which probably came before the issue of vomit, thinking about it. And he did expose himself.
And
But he did also I delivered a great essential sort of like the essence of rock and roll, the distilled essence, I think.
was that the only time you got the chance to see them play?
No, because we years later, Bauhaus and the Cramps was on a bill at a big festival in Portugal, and it was actually the last show that we did in 2006, and we had one of our acrimonious separations following that show. I write about this in my book. Actually ends the book, and we all thought that it was the end, the absolute end, but obviously that turned out not to be the case. Um, the end did occur, interestingly enough, again at a festival in Portugal a couple of years ago.
I wonder if it's the water. Sorry. So, what was the second performance comparatively like?
That was also electrifying. And again, Daniel and I watched, I think Kevin watched that one as well. Daniel and I are real fans of the Cramps. And they were on before us, just before us. And we watched most of their set. We had to get back to our trailer to get ready to go and come on after them. Mr. Murphy declined to watch them, and in fact, Daniel and I entered the trailer. By this time, we'd had a huge row, and we were trying to create as much space between myself, Daniel, and Kevin and Peter. So we were at far ends of this trailer, trying to get even further away from each other. And Daniel and I burst in very enthusiastic about what we just witnessed, and we're just saying, wow, they still got it. Cramps are so great, the essence of rock and roll and all that. And without turning round to look at us, Murphy was getting made up in the mirror, and we just heard taxidermy.
Texas.
Yes, taxidermy. So what? What? Taxidermy. Taxidermy. What are you on about, Pete? What are you on about? The Cramps. All dead and stuffed. Taxidermy. And then what's that? Okay. And we went on the stage, we went on,
Yeah.
and he was still carrying on. And he went up to the mic, and I think the Cramps were watching us, so I think a couple of them were. And he just started to incant taxidermy to the very confused Portuguese fans. And then that was and the rest, Daniel and I like looking at each other. And that was, yeah, that was the last show for a long time.
I'll just posit this. He'd know
Mm,
that was completely incorrect because the Cramps are a band that flame remained undimmed to the
I agree.
end, and they were never a tribute act. And I'd say the same thing for you for Love and Rockets and stuff too. Always remaining like continuing to be relevant. When you go to a festival with another band or something, it's kind of compartmentalized. You don't really get to like say hello to other acts, and if you like them, say, "Hey, I liked your record" or whatever.
It's rare. I mean, sometimes it happens, it did happen during that last festival in Portugal, and I did get to say hello to Suede, who are on the bill. Also, they were fantastic. Well, I bumped fists with Iggy Pop as well,
Oh yeah, that's nice.
who came on. He was on just before us at that last show.
So, did you get to tell Ivy how fantastic she was at the Portugal show?
No, we I think we would have been too nervous in those days to talk to her.
I know she really is something else. She lives in Glendale still, but kind of
Yeah, I
has.
understand that she's walked away from the Cramps big time and has kind of washed her hands of it all, which I find a bit sad if that's true.